Here's a question some small business owners can't answer. How do you actually know if your customer service team is doing a good job? Not, I think they're doing fine. Not, I haven't gotten any complaints lately. Actually, know. If your answer is, I listen in sometimes, or I check the reviews, you're managing by luck. And at some point, luck runs out. Today I'm giving you the tool that changes that. It's called a QA scorecard. It takes the guesswork out of evaluating your team and replaces it with a system. And you can download it for free. Link is in the description. QA stands for Quality Assurance. In a contact center, a QA scorecard is the tool supervisors use to evaluate customer interactions, phone calls, chats, emails against a defined set of standards. Every interaction gets scored. Every score tells you something, and over time the scores tell you everything: who needs coaching, what's breaking down, and where your customer experience is winning or losing. The problem is, QA scorecards were built for large corporate operations. The ones you find online are either too complex, too generic, or built for enterprise software budgets. So I built one for small business. It lives in Excel, and if you use Google Sheets, it works there too. It's free, and it works. Let me tell you what happens when you don't have a QA system. Without a system, your team may deliver inconsistent service. For example, one agent handles an upset customer perfectly. Another puts them on hold for 6 minutes without asking. A third gives wrong information, and the customer calls back 3 times. Without a standardized QA system, you may not know any of this is happening until a review shows up online or a customer calls to complain. A QA scorecard doesn't prevent every mistake, but it gives you a system for catching them, coaching through them, and building a standardized coaching cadence that your whole team experiences consistently, so improvement happens over time instead of the same problems repeating. That's the difference between managing your customer service team and leading it. Here's the scorecard. Let's walk through how it works. At the top, you'll fill in the agent's name, the supervisor conducting the review, the date, and the interaction ID. That's the call reference number or ticket number, so you can pull it up later if needed. You'll also note the call duration, hold time, whether there was a transfer, and whether the issue was resolved on the first contact. That last one, first contact resolution, is one of the most important metrics in customer service. We'll come back to it. The scorecard is divided into 6 sections. Each section covers a different phase of the customer interaction and carries a specific point value. The total possible score is 100 points. Section 1 is opening and greeting, worth 15 points. This covers 3 things. Did the agent greet the customer correctly? Did they sound professional? And did they verify the customer's identity before proceeding? That last one matters more than people think. In a regulated environment, healthcare, financial services, anything involving personal information, skipping verification isn't just bad service, it's a liability. Here's how the scoring works. For each behavior, you select a rating from the drop-down: consistently, usually, sometimes, or rarely. Consistently means the agent does this every single time. That earns 100% of the point value for that behavior. Usually means most of the time, 80%. Sometimes means inconsistent, 60%. Rarely means it's the exception, not the rule, 0%. The score calculates automatically. You don't do any math. Section 2 is needs identification, 15 points. This is about whether the agent actually listened to the customer, asked the right questions, and summarized the issue before jumping to a solution. This is where a lot of customer service breaks down. Agents rush to fix something before they fully understand what they're fixing. The customer ends up feeling unheard, even if the technical issue gets resolved. Section 3 is resolution and product knowledge. and this one carries the most weight at 25 points. Why? Because resolution is the whole point of the interaction. If the agent gives wrong information or fails to solve the problem, nothing else matters. Section 4 is Call Control and Efficiency, 15 points. Hold Protocol, Talk Time Management, and Transfer Protocol. Warm transfers only, meaning the agent explains the situation to the next person before handing the customer off. Nobody gets transferred into a void and has to start over. Section 5 is what I call Observable Behaviors, 20 points. These are the things you can't measure with a metric. Empathy, speaking pace, ownership. Did the agent sound like they genuinely cared? Did they speak clearly at a pace the customer could follow? Did they take personal responsibility for solving the problem, or did they deflect to policy and other departments? These behaviors are scored based on the supervisor's observation during the call review. They're subjective, but they're not arbitrary. You're rating what you actually heard. Section 6 is the close, 10 points. Did the agent confirm everything was resolved before ending the call? Did they thank the customer and use a professional closing? And then, the auto-fail items. These are in red for a reason. If any of these occur, the score is 0, regardless of how well the agent performed on everything else. There are 3. A compliance violation, sharing protected information without verification, unprofessional conduct, rude or dismissive language at any point, and an unauthorized commitment, promising something outside the agent's authority without supervisor approval. These aren't coaching issues, they're immediate action items. When you've completed the ratings, scroll to the bottom. The total score calculates automatically. The performance rating populates automatically, exceeds goal, meets goal, near goal, below goal, or critical. There's also a coaching notes section and a signature block. Agent signs to confirm they received the feedback. Not that they agreed with it. That distinction matters if you ever need HR documentation. Now, how do you actually implement this? Start simple. Pick one agent. Review one call per week using this scorecard. Score it. Have a conversation about it. Build the habit first. But here's where you want to get to, and this is the standard that actually moves the needle. 3 scored calls per agent per week, and 1 weekly one-on-one coaching session per agent. That's the cadence. 3 calls gives you enough data to see patterns rather than react to one bad day. The weekly one-on-one is where you bring the scores, celebrate what's working, and coach what isn't. You're not just correcting problems, you're recognizing good behavior too. Because what gets recognized gets repeated. Now, if you have a small team, 3 scored calls per agent per week is very doable. If you have a larger team, you may need to build toward it or share the review load with a lead agent or team supervisor. The point isn't perfection on day one. The point is building a system that scales with your team. Over time, you'll start to see patterns. One agent consistently drops on needs identification. Another loses points every week on hold protocol. Those patterns tell you exactly where to focus your coaching instead of having generic do better conversations that don't change anything. The scorecard also creates something just as important as the feedback itself, a paper trail. If you ever need to have a serious conversation with an employee about performance, or if a situation escalates to termination, documented QA scores are objective evidence, not "I feel like your attitude has been off," scored interactions over time. That protects you and your business. The download link for this scorecard is in the description. It's free. It's already built. You just fill in your team's information at the top and start using it. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through what to do after you score a call, how to have a coaching conversation that actually changes behavior instead of just creating defensiveness. That system is called FIS, Fact, Impact, Solution, and it's the second tool in this series. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss anything. And drop a comment below. Tell me, do you currently have any kind of quality review process for your team, or are you starting from zero? I read every comment. Real tools, real talk, ex-boss babe.